works out fine. Maybe also to, start from here. I hope it is visible. Please give me a sign if there's any issue. Any seeing the changes of the slides, would like a research assistant for technology and society. And I will introduce to you the first topic, which is more of a general overview about physical activity. We'll also delve a bit on the previous projects from TUB in which we were involved and that are rounding up our expertise when it comes to physical activity and sports projects. And I will also show you a few other good practices from the Erasmus projects in sport. And but maybe just to mention briefly what a MOOC is. It is a massive open online courses. It's an abbreviation, and these are mainly free online courses available for anyone to enroll. You might see them also in paid formats, however, but generally compared now to other kinds of courses, they are fairly affordable and flexible, and they provide you with new skills that either advance your career, but also, let's say, better your own lifestyle, so to speak. And in this particular case, we are going to discuss physical activity, but mainly this is all related to the Fit-Balkans project that we are currently involved in. So on to our topic. In this case, the WHO defines physical activity as any kind of bodily movement produced by our muscles, our skeletal muscles, and activities which require, in this case, energy expenditure. So whatever you do that consumes your energy, that involves your muscles, can be considered physical activity. So in this case, we're also looking at things we do in our leisure time, so in our free time, be it a walk or helping our family with whatever kind of activities in the house, but also for transport to get to and from places. So if you're walking or taking the bus from work towards your home or the other way around, the physical activity involved in this is also just as good to be considered. And also when we are doing our house chores, that's also when we're looking at regular physical activity, about which we know in general that it is good for our health and well-being. On the other hand, of course, we have physical inactivity that we need to be concerned about because this increases the risk for non-communicable diseases and other poor health outcomes. You might be familiar with some of them, like diabetes eventually, or heart diseases. But we do know by now that given our jobs, lifestyles, and usually financial situations, even our everyday activities, we tend to move less compared to how it used to be. We also choose to have physical activities for different reasons. For example, for aesthetic reasons. Now people are training more to display themselves eventually on social media, and we all tend towards achieving a seemingly perfect body image, if that even exists. Still, many studies confirm that women in particular tend to feel they tend to do less physical activity in their leisure time, and they have lower intensity types of physical activity compared to men. And in general, per total, it has also been concluded that women have lower physical activity compared to their male counterparts. And this is something we have to change. That's why we're also promoting this book, and we're talking more about physical activity to women. But first we have to understand what type might suit us the best. Now, if we also talk about the issues that have been identified in the cases of women, there are also psychosocial factors, of course, that are involved. There have been a few studies about that, for example, in a paper called Psychosocial Variables Related to Why Women Are Less Active Than Men and Related Health Implications. It's a very long title, of course, but it describes already a bit the topic. And in this particular scientific article, they look at self-efficacy, social support, and motivation for both men and women. And they try to quantify or to empirically identify how these social psychological factors affect both men and women. And for example, what is the motivation that people have in different contexts. So now we have to also look at the different forms of physical activity. So following the WHO guidelines, there are many types of physical activities. We talked about some a bit earlier, but from the point of view of some researchers, physical activity includes also shopping, gardening, riding a bike to work, or walking up and down stairs. Exercise, of course, is vital as well, but exercise is a type of physical activity that is a bit more planned and structured to improve particularly physical fitness. So what you do in the gym, the amount of rounds you are doing of a certain exercise that can improve and better your health, but also, let's say, be focused on growing a particular set of muscles. Right. If we are looking at the statements provided by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or by, again, organizations such as the World Health Organization, there are 3 types of physical activities: light, moderate, and vigorous. And we can say that all of them, to a certain extent, improve health. But popular ways that we will categorize in here would also include walking, cycling, wheeling, sports, active recreation and play, for example, and they can all be done at any level of skill or enjoyment for everybody. So that doesn't have to be a certain or at light activities in particular, these require the least amount of effort compared to of metabolic equivalent. So it's the amount of oxygen consumed while sitting at rest. When you rest and do absolutely nothing, that is 1 MET, basically. So an activity classified as 2 METs would be equal to 2 times the amount of oxygen consumed while at rest, while laying down, not doing anything, just breathing. That is the unit we are considering in this case. So we have examples, of course, of light intensity activities. But if you think about this kind of unit, METs in general are a very convenient and standard method to describe the intensity of all kinds of physical activities. You see here listed also that some examples of light physical activities include walking slowly. If you are shopping or walking around your office, let's say thinking about a project or about what to buy for groceries. It also involves sitting at your computers. In this case, you're also doing a light activity. Making your bed also is in this categorization, as well as eating or cooking or washing dishes. So for example, just standing and moving your arms. This is also considered a light activity. Now, if we move on to something a bit more intense, we have the moderate activities. These range usually between 3 and 6 METs, usually less than 6 METs. They require, of course, more oxygen consumption compared to their light counterpart. But again, just to have a brief idea about what is in this categorization, sweeping the floor or walking briskly is also counted as moderate activity. Slow dancing with your partner eventually, vacuuming even, washing windows or shooting a basketball, they all have a similar equivalent here. So whoever said that cleaning is not a physical activity or it doesn't count as sports, you can know now that it is not the case. It is very important to partake into this kind of activities, and they do have an effect on your body as well. Now, if we're talking about the most intense kind, the vigorous activities, these are counted as with more than 6 METs eventually, and they require the highest amount of oxygen consumption. In this case, running very fast, swimming, shoveling. In the winter, for example, you're trying to take the snow away from around your car, playing soccer, playing basketball, jumping rope, and carrying heavy loads also. So, for example, when you do your groceries, that also counts as a vigorous activity. These are, I guess, the most energy consuming, of course, oxygen consuming as well, and they also have the highest level of affecting your health. But walking is also not to be put aside. Walking in general is distinguished from running, of course. We in that only one foot at a time leaves contact with the ground, and there is a period of double support. This is a very basic explanation of walking, and that in contrast, running begins when both feet are off the ground with each step. The distinction has a status of formal requirement in competitive walking events, but most of you probably are not involved in such a thing. So still what you need to know in this case is that scientific studies have shown that walking also can be very beneficial for the mind to improve your memory, but also to dwell on certain abilities to learn, for example. It helps your concentration, your body, and your creativity if you're involved in the creative sector. And it also can help you with abstract reasoning. So we all sometimes take a walk just to think more clearly about certain aspects of our life. And of course, sustained walking sessions are very important, but the minimum period of 30 to 60 minutes a day are, I guess, the requirement in which you can benefit your health. Ideally, at least 5 days a week, and with a correct walking posture. In that case, we make sure that we are increasing our health substantially. Right. Now, regarding the actual frequency in which you're supposed to do different kinds of physical activities. So when it comes to adults, we have to look at moderate intensity activity as the median giver, let's say. So we have to do at least 150 to 300 minutes a week of moderate intensity activity. You remember a bit maybe the listing of activities that we can do. If it's not exercise per se, please make sure that you do certain house chores a bit more intense. But also need to look into something that's a bit more vigorous. For example, aerobic physical activity, or an equivalent combination of moderate and vigorous. In that case, we also have to consider that we have to do at least 75 minutes per week. And for adults in particular, less or more week, we should also have muscle strengthening activities for all muscle groups of moderate intensity or higher. I mean, not just doing groceries twice a week to carry heavy weights, but eventually also something that can affect our entire body. Ideally, these exercises, for example, is easier to split join the gym or online of physical activity. Children and adolescents, they also need to have 1 hour, ideally, of moderate to vigorous physical activity every single day, which needs to include also vigorous aerobic cardio, for example, at least 3 Okay. So further observations that we have identified in research are that according to new evidence, 1 bout of any exercise can be shorter than 10 minutes. So you're not required to do the same thing for a longer period of time, but you eventually need to have 3 or 4 sets and make sure you execute them correctly. And also for patients with diabetes, it is advisable to perform resistance exercises or short distance running before aerobics exercise to prevent hypoglycemia. So in order to not have low sugar, you need to take certain aspects into consideration and perform these resistance exercises. Again, new evidence also shows that dynamic resistance training is safe and effective in patients with hypertension, provided that the load is not too heavy. So if you have issue with your heart and your blood circulation, particularly hypertension, then you also can do resistance training and weightlifting if you're not doing it too hard. In general, exercise also has been noticed to reduce pain and improve quality of life and physical function in patients with bone diseases such as osteoarthritis. So these are, I guess, very common diseases that we all deal with from a certain age. Some of them are more common in our families, especially in the Balkans. Aspects like hypertension or diabetes are more and more prevalent. So you have to make sure, even at an early age, that you diminish the risks of this kinds of diseases. Now, if we are talking about the next part, namely the previous projects that we have been involved in, we have listed 3 of them. Some of you might know them if you've already participated in our first MOOC. We have multi-sport against physical sedentary. Again, our initiative regarding Fit-Balkans builds on the success of these particular examples of projects in the field of physical activity and well-being, and MAPS, the shorter version of the multi-sport against physical sedentary title, has provided framework. Second, let me minimize this. Yes, it was a project that aimed in the end to create a methodology within the European multisport, and which was meant to be against obesity, sedentary lifestyles, and also dropout in schools among youngsters aged 9 to 12. So it was involving mainly children and pre-adolescents. We have also results that can be found on our website. But mainly, to define you a bit of background, it involved the sedentary behavior that needed to be fought against and still needs to be fought against, particularly for children, pre-adolescents, because this can influence their health for a very long time. You've noticed the frequencies and the intensity with which children need to be involved in physical activity. So a lot of them are not involved in any sports, and we wanted to combat that, but also we saw physical activity not only as a solution for the sedentary behavior, but also to help them socialize eventually and feel included, because sports particularly in bigger groups, provides them with certain social skills that they need for their adult life. Also, if you are active during your childhood and your adolescence period, this also involves how you think of physical activity per se in your adulthood. Usually, as a child, if you've played a sport or you've been involved in physical activity groups with your parents, eventually you have the tendency to keep such habits as well as an adult. And this throughout your life influences a lot your mental health. And this has been also identified during this project that mental health is correlated to physical activity in children. Generally, there have been a few mainly South European cities that have been involved in the surveying and piloting in order to analyze the habits of the children and also of their parents. You see here the listed countries and cities that have partaken in the surveying action. And main aspect was to promote the physical and mental benefits of having an active mobility, convincing children and their parents as well to either walk or use the bike to reach their school from home instead of, let's say, parents taking their children to school by car. And it also helped to create these training modules, as mentioned earlier, this methodology in order to promote again physical activity for boys and girls. In our case, explicitly, we tried to change the mobility of children to walking and biking. We also looked at the data before and after, and we evaluated how the built environment in this context can affect someone's physical activity and mobility as well. Now, for the second project, PAYAMOS, or long version is a promotion of physical activity of the youth through active mobility to school. You could say this was a kind of continuation from MAPS. It was again an Erasmus Plus Sport collaborative partnership in partner countries such as Italy, Greece, Netherlands, Croatia, Turkey, and of course, Poland. And in this particular project, you could say that the target group had changed. In a way, we moved on to a higher an age category, and we also looked again at the sedentary behavior, just as we looked also at the fact that physical activity is declining in Europe altogether, and policymakers are looking for solutions. But the main point was again to tackle passive mobility and to improve mental health conditions for children and adolescents, and to create this awareness that physical activity is very important. Again, we compared different data sets before and after changing their habits, and we supported families who want to become more active together. Because again, what you do as a child with your parents eventually influences a lot how you think and how you behave as an adult. There have been a few project recommendations that we looked into in order for example, for children to be able to have access to their schools faster and with less danger. We proposed that lowering speed limits, for example, could improve street connectivity, even though you would think initially that everything gets slower. However, it would reduce eventually motor traffic, and it would transform streets into more participative spaces for all kinds of traffic participants. And we also looked into building this parental awareness, having this relation between children and parents, and making sure that everyone is aware of the benefits of physical activity. Our third example as a project in which we were involved, it was Fit-Old. Again, the abbreviation for the very long title you see on the screen. And this project was similarly involved in enhancing the health levels among elderly, so in rather the grandparent age group, by introducing interventions in their mobility mode. So this was also a 30-month collaborative partnership, again in similar partner countries, but we looked this time at seniors above the age of 60. Right. If we look at the objectives, you may see similarities to the ones that I've noted previously. And this time, again, the target group had changed. And we looked into the psychological and social benefits of physical activity, particularly for elderly, and this feeling of independence, of improvement of social interaction and involvement in the community, which I would say are aspects that are relevant throughout our adult life and become even more essential once we age and we are eventually not working anymore. Having a tight social network is very relevant, and this could be something that can be changed through sport. Observations that have been made by the project are that a lot of the participants initially were not doing the amount of physical activity they were required, but after the participation in the project, 61.5% achieved the recommended level of weekly physical activity. And of course, that overall physical activity was a lot higher in those areas in which street connectivity was more accessible, and it was a very relevant factor to see, okay, how your environment and the way or the places in which you live can affect the occasions in which you do sports. Men also were more physically active at work. However, for seniors, women were significantly more active in leisure time. So elderly women apparently are making sure they are getting enough physical activity in their free time. Men usually are more involved in more demanding physical jobs. This is, I guess, also something fairly easy to correlate. And in general, most people were involved in domestic and garden chores that would increase their physical activity. So they would be least active in their daily mobility. They were probably using cars, but they would be physically active at home when they had to vacuum or to garden. Education also was a factor that we looked into. Apparently higher levels of education came also with more physical activity, regardless of category. And overall, we noticed that also sitting time needs to be reduced altogether. In general, people who have a partner tend to sit more. So this is maybe something we can also avoid from now on. Right. In terms of experience and expertise, you've seen a pattern eventually in these projects that I've presented now briefly. Of course, they all had different target groups. So we notice it is important to adapt the project, of course, to the needs of the people. This may involve a different culture, a different age group, but the program framework cannot be replicated completely in all contexts and for all groups. So while you did notice the similarities, the way certain issues needed to be addressed, that was different. And we have to also look at people's environment, because what happens eventually, or what can be provided as a good solution in the Western European countries, may eventually not be the same in Eastern European countries. Generally, we can note that communities help us a lot as a participant in an activity or in a changing activity or project, we noted that communities are the ones that push us to the success, regardless of kind of intervention. So we work best if we have our families and friends by our side. Of course, sometimes it takes a bit of convincing to involve them into our activities. Sometimes they might not understand as much, but we need to engage and be constant. Constant involvement from all partners and locals, and eventually their environment, is what deems in the end a project successful. So we hopefully applied this aspects also in the Fit-Balkans project. Now, regarding the last part of our presentation, Erasmus projects in sport. I have brought a few here that I can talk about. They are eventually not starting on the same principles as Fit-Balkans, for example, or the ones that I have shown you previously. However, these are also deemed by the European Commission as good practices, as successful projects. They are fairly similar in terms of how many countries they covered or how long they took. They're all the same type of Erasmus project, namely collaborative partnership, and they're also all available on the websites of the European Commission. So mainly Sport for Life was one example, because it looked into improving the key competencies of workers, educator, trainers, and other professionals in the field of sport. So creating this methodology of teaching in order to promote a better quality of youth work and its ability to respond to diversity. So you note eventually that they also insisted here on building certain social skills, but also was necessary to exchange experiences, good practices, and further methods among organizations and professionals from these 6 countries. The countries were Italy, Turkey, the Czech Republic, Poland, Norway, and Spain, which applied for this particular project. They have different activities. For example, they organized in each country different meetings. They mapped stakeholders that might be relevant for the promoting aspect. And they also met with authorities to look how they can change the policy making in their respective countries. They also taught and created new tools to work through cross-curricular subjects through sport. And they had also workshops in which they were teaching social pedagogy, for example, applied to sport, and insisted on inclusion and social transformation. The point was in the end to create this non-formal education, to have this framework of content in which everything was worked on in a dynamic and enjoyable way, and in which learning by doing was essential, because every counterpart had to emphasize on to the active participation also. Everyone had to take care of each other and supported their continuous knowledge. The participants also improved key competencies and then made themselves available as professional trainers further on, and partner organizations of the project and of others, of their local networks, exchange good practices and their new tools in order to create this awareness regarding the internationalization of sports. But in the end, making young people more committed, responsible and healthy, and contributing to the construction of a more fair and supportive society. The next example is Physical Activity Serving Society, or PAS. It was also a project that has been, it is also a project that has been completed. It's also covered 6 countries. It took 2 years, but it was the same type of collaborative partnership. And it was right. It was taking inspiration from the Design to Move international campaign from Nike. And it aimed at shedding new light on the state of physical activity in Europe. So again, the sedentary behavior. They also they looked at the levels of physical inactivity that reached, again, as mentioned before, unprecedented peaks in Europe. Right. Mainly, the project documented the scale, costs, and consequences of sedentarism and this crisis of physical inactivity in Europe. They tried to raise awareness about the consequences of being sedentary, especially to decision makers, in order to make HEPA, which is an European network for promotion of health-enhancing physical activity. They needed to make this policy more of a transversal political priority for local and higher up policymakers. But mainly, they also engaged change makers and sport prescribers in critical sectors in order to show how HEPA actually, as a policy, can or as network, can be more aligned with the objectives of each city. Right. Oh, sorry. Exactly. So they worked throughout 2015 to 2017. They also had different meetings and made scientific studies, as well as provided workshops about grassroots sports and sports industry. And they all disseminated the information gathered in order to promote physical activity. So they combined sports and science in a way, in a similar manner in which we are currently doing and have done in the previous projects. Right. The next and last project I will be talking about, you will notice also that in the handout, you will receive, there are 4 good practices that we have listed. However, for the current presentation, for the sake of time, we only brought 3 with us. But since the last one I will present, it's called Table Tennis Crosses Borders. It is a bit of a smaller envergure in this case. It's also a completed project of the same type and also funded by the Erasmus program. It mainly looked into tackling issues connected to, again, sedentarism, and also wanted to promote values of sport and an active lifestyle by involving children of different ages and groups. With groups, we mean also ethnicities, eventually in a fun and inclusive way. Table tennis, I think most of you may know it, eventually have played it as well. It's a very fun activity. And it also creates this source of useful information that can serve as a base for forming guidelines. They also disseminated, or they wanted to disseminate the collected information to policymakers and educational organizations of different scales. And they aim to have high quality of the conducted activities directly connected with quality control, and evaluated that was in motion throughout the entire grant period of the project. So they were in check of themselves throughout the entire project. They had also quite a lot of activities. For example, a summer table tennis camp in Polish, a table tennis tournament for all. They had club networking events and a marathon event in Croatia, and they introduced table tennis into schools. So they clearly had a direct impact in the local communities by working with schools and sports clubs. And since inclusion was a major part of the project, they also increased the visibility of table tennis as a sport per se in these partner countries, highlighting, let's say, the benefits on the physical health by the improvement of motor skills and the children's psychosocial development. And the inclusion aspect was also related to the people with disabilities, including them into a larger group, creating this visibility for inclusion, but also showing that table tennis is suitable for everyone and that it is easy to integrate in a school curriculum, and that it helps children particularly develop healthy habits. In terms of quality control, they had monthly Skype meetings between partners, so they kept each other in check, so to speak, briefing comparing methods for the marathon and the partners to use when working with people with disabilities. They also had reports, constant reports on event attendance, and how the pupils have reacted to the table tennis activities in school. And of course, they had reports also on the social inclusion of different ethnic groups as well. I think that is from my side, and I try to keep it as brief as possible in order to make it to the break. So I'll stop sharing my screen. And thank you from the side of the Technical University Berlin for your attention. And yeah, let Dimitri get back to moderating this MOOC. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for the presentation, Larissa. Now we're actually going to have a 10-minute break, so we will be back here at 12:10. Okay. Thank you. Okay, hello everybody, welcome back. We're gonna start. So now our partners from Greece, N2A, will present their part. I will leave the floor to Yorgos.
Thank you, Dimitri. Hello everyone, just give me a second to also share my screen. So, first of all, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining the second massive open online course, which happens in the framework of the Erasmus Plus project Fit-Balkans. This is the second online course. The first one was held back in November. For those who didn't attend it, the first one was about mobility and some interesting results that we extracted, we found during the first stages of this project. If you're interested in finding out, feel free to browse for our material we have from the first. Also, the presentations are available. And this leads and bridges to today's online course and presentation, which is around which about lifestyles and following the work that was presented from our TUB partners. Now we'll talk about lifestyles and we'll categorize them. And we'll define them, we'll categorize them, and we'll talk about the two basic, two opposite pillars, let's say, the sedentary lifestyle and the active lifestyle. Similar to the first MOOC, feel free to use the chat to interact with each other, have some open discussion. Today we have people joining from different Balkan countries that are the study area of this project. So feel free to use it. I will try through the presentation also to initiate some discussions after the end of each session. And with these things said, just one last brief look to the outline of this presentation. That we'll start with the types and forms of lifestyles. We'll continue with the sedentary lifestyle and conclude the active and healthy lifestyles, some definitions, key components, and some types and examples. So, first of all, we have to define lifestyle. The word itself comprises of like the two words, life and style, and if someone searches online about a definition of this, we will see that it is very, very broad. But in the end, all different definitions and terms are trying to capture all different pieces of the puzzle that are when joined together, they present a way of living our interests, our behaviors, and personal morals and values that comprise us and defines us as entities and as persons, as individuals. Of course, these puzzle pieces can both be tangible and intangible aspects of human life, and they try to capture many different, all different angles of a personality. And so, if we want to round it up, we can say that a lifestyle generally is a framework through which individuals and communities navigate their identities, preferences, and aspirations, and reflecting the interplay of cultural, social, and economic factors. The definition is quite broad, and even broader actually are the ways to categorize lifestyles. Here you can see a very first way to categorize lifestyles, like from like a very general one that may include like quite a wide range of definitions, but also more like specific, like when it comes to income or profession, like what is your kind of profession, or what's your professional life, or like your consumption the way your consumption character or like lifestyle can be also categorized based on your marketing. These are like these two categories are mostly used like in the fields of business administration and communication, but also we can see this through the aspect of like sexuality or like spirituality and religious or even music and recreation. Another categorization that can be found in literature, like was brought by Jensen back in 2008, and categorized lifestyles not through a specific aspect or a specific angle, but instead he tried to just map them into a pyramid, and in order to follow this pyramid, it's like you're navigating to map application, and you're playing with a magnifying glass. And if you are zooming out a lot, like if you're looking the globe from the distance, at the top we have the global lifestyles. Global lifestyles refer to lifestyles that you can see that are characterized like broad areas, regions of the world. Like it can be like Western civilization lifestyle or like an Eastern one. And underneath this, we when we zoom out just a bit, we can have like the so-called structural or national lifestyles, which are not necessarily like limited to a country's borders, but instead they cover like a more specific region where you can find the similar lifestyles between people. If we zoom in further, we go to the positional or subcultural lifestyles, and now we can say that we're moving in within a neighborhood or a district, and we're referring like to lifestyles that are common between people like that are interacting with within their neighborhood, with their family, with their friends, to a smaller circle. The foundation of this pyramid has like the individual lifestyles, where Jensen identified like two different variants. The first variant is how an individual lifestyle, one person's lifestyle, is affected by exogenous parameters, by the society, by the interaction, by the social interaction that one person has in his daily life. While the second variant is comprises all the ethical, morals, personal views, all that actually are endogenous, coming from the person, and they are reflected to the society. Of course, there is interaction between among all different levels of this pyramid, and some characteristics just are not limited to a specific level. As aforementioned, there are many ways to categorize lifestyles, and while I was just exploring all these in order to prepare the material that will be also be available and you can find online, and also present to you right now. I can say that it was like quite like when you fell into this rabbit hole, there is no end. So here I can present you even more like categorizations, and I'm sure that if you search, you will find more, and everyone in his or her daily life can belong to more than one lifestyles, but just to have also a brief look on these categorizations, we can have like different lifestyles based on our level of physical activity. We can have a sedentary lifestyle, a quite active lifestyle, and also these categories will be are part of these session of today's MOOC. It can be based on diet and nutrition. We have omnivores, we have like vegetarians, we have vegan. It is based on work and career. It not only on which sector we're working, but also on how we would like to work. Like if we prefer like to go to work physically on a workplace, or like we have or to work remote, or we are digital nomads and we're traveling throughout the year, and we keep working from different parts of Earth. Social engagement. We have solo lifestyles. We have people that are participating in different groups, voluntary, political, or you name it. On health and wellness, like we have healthy lifestyles, which can be based on like physical health, but also on mental health. On technology use and how we are, and how much a person is familiar and relies on technology, how close it is to environment, and based on our spiritual and philosophical ways of approaching and addressing life. Financial lifestyle. Here we can have minimalists, or like some people that want to have a luxurious lifestyle. And of course, also these definitions are also vague. They're not like strict, like lines drawn on concrete. They're not sort of like the boundaries between these are like are not very well justified, and also based on our leisure and hobbies. Of course, there are many different ways to categorize lifestyles, and now we just have a brief overview of some. Feel free to start like chatting and suggesting more to people. Maybe you have in common with some other participant. And we all choose a way of living. We choose our own lifestyle, and a good lifestyle is quite subjective. There's we cannot also like compare between among us, because there are different things that in life, and different values that make us like have a positive perspective towards life, adopt some good morals like being kind and happy, and also channel this into our career planning. It also help us just make better decisions, and also help us more like evolve in our professional marathon. And overall, it has to be a concept of a routine that makes us feel good, relaxed, and secure within it. So if we achieve all these, we can be sure that we follow a good lifestyle for ourselves. Saying that, this concludes the first part of this presentation about the definition of lifestyles and all the different variants. As you saw, that they can vary, they can range a lot. And just to help you be more active in the chat, here's some questions that you can answer if you want, or engage to some discussion in the chat. The first is like, which category of the ones described you feel that it is closer to your lifestyle? It can be, of course, more than one. And or you can write on how you describe your lifestyle, and maybe you'll find in the chat someone that has a similar lifestyle to yours, and who knows, you can connect further. Once I hope sorry, I'm in full screen, so I cannot follow the chat, but at the same time, I can continue to the second part of the to the second topic, which is the sedentary lifestyle. Well, if you recall from the previous presentation given from Larissa, the level of physical activity is can be classified by the energy expenditure, and this corresponds to a specific metabolic rate. Now, when we're talking about sedentary lifestyle, we are talking about like a lifestyle that it is characterized by battery saving mode. It has a very low energy expenditure, and most of the people following it, I think you can spot them like sitting a lot, lying on their sofa or their bed, and yes, just not being necessarily quite active. This lifestyle results, but also can be a result of some health issues, both physically and mentally, and because of inactivity, they can be the reason of like causing like some health, some negative health outcomes that we'll talk about later, and yes, a prolonged sedentary lifestyles also like may increase the risk of some health problems. So just to give a definition, just it is, and also like the sedentary behavior, actually, it is like being inactive, either sitting or lying down for long periods, and by default, we have to we must say that we all start with a high amount of sedentary time, as we spent, all of us, a lot of time being inactive, or at school, or at work, or at university, at different parts of our life. Now, there is distinction between sedentary behavior and physical inactivity. Yes, they may overlap at some points, but sedentary behavior, it is mostly defined as an activity that requires a low body energy expenditure, which corresponds to less than 1.5 of a metabolic equivalent, while physical inactivity is defined as adults performing less than 30 minutes of moderate exercise for 5 times a week, or less than 20 of vigorous exercise, less than 3 times a week. So these are the limits, the thresholds set for physical inactivity. Physical inactivity has been identified as the fourth leading risk factor for mortality worldwide. So it is quite advised to avoid like being or like tend to be physically inactive. And we can consider that sedentary lifestyle, it's the umbrella that includes both terms, both sedentary behavior and physical inactivity. And of course, let's don't hide as we say in Greek, to hide behind our finger. We all are have some parts of our daily life are physically inactive, so it can be parts of for actually match to some key components of sedentary lifestyle. I think here is not to just prolong them or just stretch them and make them throughout the day. So when it comes to work and studying, when it comes to office jobs, yes, we all of us sitting in a desk, we're doing this at the moment, attending like hopefully interesting presentation, but we are sitting in a desk for some hour in front of our computer screen. Remote work, unfortunately, this was the case for the confinement period during the pandemic, but now it has been adopted in some companies, and it still goes on. Studying, yes, if you want actually to study, this requires a long period of sitting to read, to write, or even again use the computer. And the majority of meetings, either virtual or physical, are around a table, just discussing or brainstorming for hours. And usually, when you're like in a fevery rush, we just avoid taking breaks, just to move around and stretch a bit. Of course, we don't find these components only in our work, but also in the way in our time outside work, in our leisure activities. Of course, when someone returns home after a long day, the easiest thing to do is just switch on the TV, take the remote, and choose a series or a movie on a streaming platform, or just grab his console, his controller, and start playing a game. Or the easiest thing possible, that we have it also in our hands nowadays via smartphones, start scrolling and endlessly on social media and websites. Even activities that promote our mental health, like reading, require also to sit or lying down, or listening to music or podcasts. These might be helpful for our mental health, but at the same time, they require us to stay inactive. Enhances, also like promotes a sedentary lifestyle. Also, like even public transport, when we have to sit on a train or a bus for a long time, for quite a long time during our commute. But there is a life jacket there. Like if you walk, if you combine it with some active modes, then you can be it can be saved. Also within our daily routine, or like some household activities, we have like we may have some passive home life, just spend most of our time sitting at home without engaging some physical activity. And instead of, although they're very helpful, and automation has saved our life in many ways, makes us also a bit inactive as well. Like when our Roomba has already vacuumed our apartment, then we're not. We just maybe have to do some minor things, and we're not doing some too much of physical movement because some parts of the household are done for us. Well, unfortunately, all of us are just, and because of our daily life, let's admit it, all of us are doing these things more or less. The thing is that we have to reduce it because if we fall to a sedentary lifestyle, we are putting ourselves into risks of especially health risks, as you can see here, that are not only physical, like hypertension and diabetes, but also mental, like depression and reduced cognitive functions. And just to not make it like very like heavy, don't be stressed and don't don't panic. Everyone does it in our daily life. The thing is that how we can change it and just don't fall into this and spiral down even furthermore. So just to have a discussion also to this part of the presentation, I would like to set two questions, and also you can share your suggestions and tips to avoid falling into a sedentary lifestyle. But from my side, I just have two questions. Just how much time do you spend sitting yesterday, which was it was a working day after, and you can and just answer in minutes. And I assume all of us did it yesterday, just even for just a few minutes. And so, how much time do you spend watching TV or doing another like sedentary lifestyle activity? I think the most important is just to share how like we can avoid these ways of leisure and or find ways in our working hours just to be a bit more active, just instead of like sitting on a desk in front of a computer just and trying and being inactive. Now we'll move to the diametrically opposite part lifestyle, the active lifestyle. Here the thing changes a lot. In an active lifestyle, we don't see only people that are engaged to some kind of activity, either moderate or vigorous, but we also we can see more people that are more active also socially. People that are following an active lifestyle are more outgoing or extroverted, and they exercise, they socialize a lot, and most likely they are doing something, they are working on something they really love and makes them feel good. And this also is reflected in their daily life. An active lifestyle informs like integrating regular physical activity, and it can encompass structured exercise and or incorporate activity to habitual tasks, leading to a significant health benefits mostly. Of course, it's not only about physical activity, but it has many other aspects, as you can see on this slide as well. It is an active lifestyle. It includes good nutrition, a positive outlook throughout life, feeling secure and safe in this lifestyle, social responsible, and how you and it has a good handling. It includes a good handling of stress and anxiety. Examples of activities that we can find in an active lifestyle. It can, as you can see, it can start like from just walking, a moderate activity that can be done by everyone. It is easy and it just requires us to go out on the road and just do a brisk walk around the block. Dancing, even shopping or doing a housework, gardening, more like vigorous activities such as cycling. Participating in volunteer activities. Here comes the social aspect of an active lifestyle. Again, some strength training on some vigorous activities. Getting to visit others, friends, relatives, and also like playing with children or like grandchildren. I don't know, like the range of people that are participating today, but all of these activities cover different aspects of an active lifestyle. Active living. At the beginning, it might sound very difficult, and of course, we cannot conquer all aspects of it, but we can even do small steps to, and one step at a time, actually, to all different parts of it. But when we start living actively, we can already see and harvest the benefits of it, like meeting new people, start engaging to more like social interaction. We may start feeling more relaxed, and this is also we can find it also to our daily sleep cycle, which also correspond to stress reduction and anxiety reduction and better handling of daily activities, and of course enjoying it more, having more fun. When adding also like physical activity to the mixture, we can also find some benefits coming from sourcing from it, like we contribute to more like independent lifestyle and living. Of course, our physical and mental health is improved together with our quality of life, and we and all the rest you can see are about all the physical health benefits, from like fewer pain, better posture, and weight maintenance, to mental health benefits such as improved health esteem, strong and more relaxation in our daily life, and reduced stress. So once again, just to put them all together, like some health benefits, the physical, it is improved cardiovascular health, better body composition, more muscle and bone health, improved metabolism, and better apart from muscle mass, and also better functionality of the full body. And in terms of mental health, better stress management, we're in a better mood state. Our depression episodes are reduced. We are less anxious about things, and we have a better self-esteem. Together with the active lifestyle, usually, actually we mix them usually with also healthy lifestyle. These things overlap a lot, but they also are we can distinguish them, and this is and healthy lifestyle. A healthy lifestyle is the last part of this presentation, and we have to say that a healthy lifestyle also focuses more on the health aspect, not that much on being active all the time. A healthy lifestyle may include nutrition, of course, to keep your body active, and a healthy lifestyle is the first step towards an active lifestyle. A healthy lifestyle centers around habits that can promote health and prevent diseases. They include a healthy diet, regular exercise, and abstain from harmful behaviors. And not only physical, but also when we have to tune our mental health and manage our stress, because also these are vital components of a healthy lifestyle. Here we can see all the key components as well of a healthy lifestyle, starting from regular physical activity and nutrition, diet, and adequate sleep. Of course, avoid substances and bad habits such as smoking, and moderate alcohol consumption, stress management, and of course, trying to keep a life balance. Now we'll focus on some specific aspects, starting one of them is the nutrition and the need of a balanced diet, which is one of the key components, as we saw, of a healthy lifestyle. And nutrition is essential for maintaining optimal health and supporting bodily functions. We must daily obtain all the necessary nutrients, including both macro and micronutrients. And we have to have a sufficient calorie intake in order to support us in our daily life. A balanced diet is not always about eating a variety of foods, but also eating the right foods and in the right proportions. We have to incorporate all important all nutrients, and of course adequate hydration into our meals in order to our body to receive the energy needed to maintain its function, to maintain itself and function. We have to focus on whole, unprocessed foods and enjoy our meals mindfully to maintain a healthy and sustainable lifestyle. Moving on, it is not always easy to have to maintain a healthy nutrition plan. So would like to help you by just giving you some meal planning tips that we also found during our exploration of the healthy lifestyle and its components. The first one and the most important is just to set a meal planning schedule, just to schedule our plans throughout the day. And after building it, we have to, after setting the plan, we have to build around the core ingredients that we need. We have to make sure that we are taking all the nutrients that our body needs and what our body wants to maintain itself and function. One very common method that can be found is the plate method. This means that we have to separate our plate into specific areas. The majority of it should be vegetables, and followed by protein and some carbohydrates. Of course, we have to include variety in order to achieve a nutritional balance. And combined with our meal planning schedule, we have to prepare ahead. It is usually better just to plan and the meals of the weekend go like for just for big grocery shopping, just don't shop every day depending on what someone wants to eat. And of course, late carvings actually for snacks and sides are necessary. Like if you're like doing an office job or if you're studying, of course, this is a mental activity and the brain needs sugar. So try to, when you crave for sugar, just not grab the first chocolate bar, but try instead to cover it by some healthy sugars coming from fruit or some healthy snacks and try make them more accessible than chocolate bar from a vending machine. A good meal planning should plan also for leftovers, because a good meal planning is also sustainable. So we can try to. It's not always easy, and personally speaking, to cook for like a specific number of portions. But so we have to we sometimes have to see what we can what else we can do with our leftovers. Some leftovers can be part of a snack the next day, of part of a sandwich, or we can include more foods like that are that can produce less leftovers, such as soups, for instance. A good meal plan must be flexible and adjust and it can be continuously adjusted to our needs and our daily life. Of course, different people have different dietary needs, and this should be taken into account. And we have also our pantry must be well stocked with all the healthy, as much as possible healthy meals and not materials like ingredients that can be combined into a more like healthy dish. Thankfully, we have like technology in our hands. We have different applications that can help us like prepare like healthy recipes. We can count calories. We can see what is the nutritional value of specific meals, and always we can track also our diet and see how we can improve it, and we can also review and reflect on it, see what we're doing wrong. Maybe we're consuming a lot of junk food. Maybe we don't dedicate enough time to for preparation of meals. So by reviewing our the time we spent on this procedure, we can improve it and make it better. Apart from nutrition, we should also engage to some physical activity, some moderate physical activities that can be adopted in our daily life, is like walking or like dancing or cycling, but on level ground, because still we're talking about moderate activities of moderate intensity. Gardening can be one of them, or like doing our household, or like water aerobics, since water already provides a higher degree of difficulty because of its density, and playing with children because these include some moderate running on or playing different games that are more active. But as not only moderate activity is needed, but also vigorous intensity activities. So we should gradually adopt like one activity like this in our lifestyle, such as running or jogging, but in higher intensity, swimming or like cycling here in fast pace, in faster pace, and doing some aerobics like Zumba or like this, or which is aerobic dancing, and sports like soccer, basketball, or tennis, and hiking, which is also like a recreational activity. Now, as you can see also in the slide, there is sometimes we're not sure if what you're doing falls into like the moderate or the vigorous intensity family. So a test to check this is the talk test. If you can talk but not sing unique activity, this is moderate. But if you can only say a few words without pausing for breath, this is vigorous. This is a vigorous activity. And this is the simpler test possible that you can do to check what you're doing, what you're currently practicing. And of course, you cannot let outside the mental well-being that is in a healthy lifestyle. And in order to be mentally healthy, for someone to be mentally healthy, it can engage to activities such as meditation, some deep breathing exercises, yoga or Tai Chi, and some exercises for progressive muscle relaxation that are also, of course, similar to yoga, but also in a lower level. But also try to reflect in our daily life by keeping a journal to of things that are grateful that we did during the day, and then reflect and process and process the emotions we went through during the day. Mental well-being is also improved via like boosting like our creativity and hobbies that help us express ourselves, like arts and crafting, like painting, drawing, knitting, or pottery. By music, like playing an instrument, singing, or like listening to uplifting song, or things that are correspond to can make us feel better, enlighten us, or writing for people that are like can express themselves by like pen and paper, just poetry, like writing short stories, or even keeping a blog, because of course we're in the digital age, or like even in social media. Gardening can be also one expressive hobby, like take caring of plants, and which also like help us connect with nature. And finally, in order to connect also with nutrition, that was said before, aforementioned, cooking or like experimenting with new recipes. Yeah, please just be careful with the stove or like the oven or fire. Just try simple things at first. Also, like for mental well-being, just we must care for our social interactions, spend more time with friends and family, join clubs or community groups like book clubs, hobby groups, volunteer organizations, participate in group sports or activities, and try to engage more in like meaningful conversations, like on different aspects of life. Maybe you can help someone else, and someone else can also help you. And finally, attending like community or cultural events that are of your interests, just also to improve your social well-being. Of course, we have like physical activities that are that have come with mental benefits, like walking in nature or hiking, and swimming, or just even floating in water, like dancing, or cycling in scenic areas, or a place that makes us feel good, or like in a time of the day that make us feel good, like during sunrise or sunset. Some also self-care practices. It's reading a favorite book or a favorite genre, or exploring even new genres that can broaden our horizons. We also must not neglect the importance of like our pampering routine. Some ritual that everyone can have, like from a relaxing bath to skincare and like in general self-care, that can be practiced daily, or like even in the weekends or when we have time. Spending time with pets, like walking a dog or playing with a cat. And sometimes we have to go a bit, offline, just turn ourselves into airplane mode, unplug from technology, and enjoying some quiet time and disconnect a bit um, from all the digital reality. And lastly, on the personal growth and reflection, we can invest on learning a new skill or hobby, like learning a language or taking an online course. And we, as aforementioned, like journaling and reflecting on personal goals, practicing gratitude and maintaining a gratitude journal, and finally engaging in spiritual activity if relevant to your lifestyle. And this concludes also like the last part of the healthy lifestyles. And here are the last questions from this part. Feel free to continue interacting in the chat. I will, after the end of this presentation, I will also have a look on what is written. And so some last questions from this topic. Which of the activities for mental well-being you have in your daily life, or which one would you like to adopt? And with that said, I would like to thank you. This concludes my presentation, and I would like to thank everyone for this full online course.
Okay, thank you, Jorgos, for this. Another interesting presentation. Now we are following the timeline, the schedule of the agenda that you got. So we will have a 10-minute break. So we will start at 1:15 with the final presentation from the UGD. Thank you. Okay, guys, it's time to get back. Now I would like to give the floor to our partners from UGD to present their part of the program. At the end of this, I will send one link for the Google form to fill in for the certificates that you can get at the end. So I will leave the floor to Simon.
Thank you, Dimitrie. First, I'm going to finish the presentation of the previous part. We had a shared presentation with our colleagues from Athens regarding the form types and forms of lifestyle. I forgot to present myself. I'm Milkica from Goce Delchev University, and I will be talking about recreational activities in the beginning. So what are recreational activities? Those are leisure pursuits that people engage in for enjoyment, relaxation, for fun, for fitness. It can be done individually or in team, regarding of your preferences. You can choose from outdoor activities. For example, hiking, which is pretty popular here in Stip. During the weekends, people usually go to explore nature or mountains. You can also choose cycling, which is pretty easy to do. You can do your daily routines cycling. You can go to the park, to the trails or urban areas. Kayaking or canoeing, it depends if you have the water in front of you, which is some sort of water sports, or you can do running and walking just as cycling. It is easy to be done. You can also do sports, and depending on your character and preferences, you can do team sports such as football, basketball. For example, in football, you have 11 other teammates, or in basketball, you can, if you want to connect it with your social activities, you can choose basketball, or if you're more of an individual type of person, like me, for example, you can choose tennis, or you can go swimming, you can do golf, etc. Or if you're more into fitness and wellness, then yoga, which is a blend of physical exercise and meditation, would be more suitable for you, or Pilates to strengthen your core and flexibility. If you like to add some fun in it, you can do Zumba, hip hop dancing, or gym workouts like lifting weights and using machines, etc., etc. If you chose sports, competitive sports, those are organized physical activities in order to achieve a certain goal by following certain rules and regulations. Also, they can be, as I said, individual or teamwork. Team sports are soccer, or football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, hockey. Individual sports, as I mentioned before, one of them tennis, swimming, boxing, golf, gymnastics. Other types of sports are combat sports, if you're more into wrestling or boxing or judo, karate, taekwondo, and stuff like that. Racket sports, tennis would be part of this also, squash, badminton, table tennis, ping pong. If you would like to do extreme sports, then you can choose from skateboarding, snowboarding, or surfing. And there are also athletic and endurance sports, which also train your character as well as your physical well-being, such as triathlon, marathons, and stuff like that. So it would be good for you to think what is your type of active lifestyle, the one that you practice, the one that you would like to practice? Are you more in choosing your sport activity? Are you more of an individual player or a team worker? And which sport, if any, do you do? My colleague now, Sanya, will continue the next part. Sanya?
Yes, I'm here. I will share my screen right now with you all. Just a second. Okay. So hello, everybody. My name is Sanya. I'm also representing the Goethe Delchev University in Stip. Also a sport enthusiastic, especially because I'm practicing physical activity more than 10 years right now. So right now I'm going to share what I have done so far and how I incorporate these physical activities in my everyday practice and how this can be helpful for you, especially for those who are the beginners and who wants to be more engaged in sports activities but doesn't know how to start. The thing is that all of us are practicing physical activities every day, want it or not. But if we made some strategy or if we want to know how we are going to improve our health, our well-being through sport, we need to have a schedule and we need to set some straight objectives. The study shows that even 10 minutes per day can be benefits for your health, which means if you have 30 minutes practice during the week, it will be more than enough for you to start with this physical engagement as a beginner. One of the plenty daily activities that you can actually do home without using equipment or without going to the gym is walking or biking instead of driving. Then doing some housework, which I believe all of us are engaged in these kind of activities, and believe it or not, they are very helpful for all of us. Or then going to jogging, walking, or just going around your neighborhood, stores, and etc. These are some comparison that I prepared for you instead of driving, I believe. And even the results that we had in this project show that most of us are driving to work to school or instead of walking. And this can be the start for you all instead of driving to go to the city center by walking, to go to your office by walking, or to go to school by walking, or even to park the car further from your chosen destination, that can be beneficial as well. Then exercises at home, as I said, doing homework, housework is also a kind of physical activity, but there are also different activities that can be done by you without using any equipment. And even if you're doing some activities outdoors in your garden, that's also beneficial for your health. The most exciting part is how we can exercise in our workplace, especially because most of us are spending at least 8 hours at work, which means doing those breaks, physical breaks at work can be very helpful, like using your lunch break for walking or going to the nearest park to have a lunch, then stretching while you're at work. It's not just for the physical activity, but also for your overall well-being. And then, for example, instead of sending an email to your colleague, you can just go to his office, which consider, believe it or not, as a physical activity. These are some things that I would like to share with you, which were very beneficial for me. For example, the grocery shop is keeping your body moving and burn a lot of calories. And for example, 130 calories can be burned just 30 minutes walking to the grocery shop or going to the mall. And I believe most of us are spending more time in the malls than 30 minutes, and that's extra calories and extra beneficial for you. Or then preparing a meal at your home is also considering as a beneficial physical activity. And then if you're looking for a way to improve your look and your home or style, instead of calling someone to do that, be enthusiastic, and it could be good not just for your health but for your house as well. Then, for example, if you going outside during winter period like this one, like the period right now in North Macedonia, you can burn 280 and 19 calories just for 30 minutes walking during the cold days. How you should get started? I know that you don't have maybe experience in this, but maybe you should start, for example, with the small moderated periods weekly and daily, 5 to 10 minutes. Planning your physical activity, it's a good start for all of you. What you should be consider, especially during this time, is to wear appropriate clothes, outdoor outdoor clothes, and also have water with you all the time. These are the essentials for all who want to start and be engaged in physical activities. Then the benefits are a lot. I don't want to go in details about the benefits, but I would like to share with you something, maybe it's an inspiration that they can increase your motivation to start or to stay be active. It's good condition for your heart or lungs, then increases your muscular strength and motor fitness, increase aerobic fitness, then better condition and flexibility, increase energy levels, improve immunity, and increase physical confidence in every daily activity that you would like to be engaged. Then before start exercising, this is really important. If you want to see a progress in your physical activity, you should start record your body. It's really important for you to know your body, to know your strength, and to see how this progress with the physical activity, which means first you need to start to rate your pulse before and after walking to see if this rate of walking is good or bad for you. Then how long you take to walk a certain distance. For example, if you want to walk 5 kilometers, the first time it took you 30 minutes. Then in time, it will take you 20 minutes, which is really important for you to know that your strength is improving and you're having better condition. Then maybe you can waste measurements between the top of your hip bone and bottom of your wrist, which means you can see how physically you're changing by using this, let's say, engaging in these physical activities, which is an extra motivation for all of us, for the beginners. And then here I would like to introduce to you the body mass index. Just Google it. I won't go into the metrics here and the equation. Just Google a body mass index, which means you can calculate and you can find your perfect measurements according to this equation. And how to stay motivated. I know that the most important thing, tricking thing here is to start doing physical activities, but then to stay motivated and continue doing that. I know that sometimes it can be very bothering. We don't have time. We need to find time to be physically engaged. But for example, we need to set goals, which means we need to start measuring our parameters that I mentioned to you before, which can give you additional motivation if you see the results on your body and your strength. And then maybe you can invite a friend or a family member to go with you, which can make the walking or the exercising more enjoyable for both of you. And then to put a simple task, which means start even with 5 minutes physical activity daily. It can be helpful and progressing with these minutes every time when you would like to be engaged in this kind of activities. These are some trainings that you can use it. Also in our bigger presentation, there are some exercises and I believe the coordinators are going to send you the presentation where you're going to find the examples here that I just mentioned and you will know how to do it, those exercises at home or in your gym. One of the training for everybody who are beginners or everybody who just started be physical active are cardiovascular training. It's like 30 to 60 minutes per day, moderate intensive exercises. And you can do this kind of training once or twice per week. And then when you will see how your strength is arising during these trainings, you will increase from 30 to 35 or to 40 minutes per exercise. Then the strength training, which will build your muscles while you're trying to achieve your goal. It's after you're doing cardio training, doing like uh, 10 to 15 minutes of strength training. It's really easy to do this kind of trainings. You can find exact position of your body on the internet, and also as animation, it's already described in our bigger presentation. And while you're walking, there are a lot of outdoor fitness center where you can stop and do this training and exercises. What is important for these exercises is to do repetition, even though it says that you should do 8 to 12 repetition. But if you feel that your body can respond to this repetition, you can start even from 5 to 6 repetition, and you will see that in time you will be able to achieve the goal, which means to do 10 to 15 repetitions to improve your strength. This kind of exercise are the squat, the deadlift, gluten bridge, push-up, reverse lunges. Those exercises can be done at home without using any equipment. Just Google it or just read our presentation, and you will find details how you can do this training at home. And then the flexibility training is something that all of us should be doing daily on daily level. Even before starting with a day, you should try this flexibility training. 5 to 10 minutes is really great for your body. But also before engaging in every other physical activity, first you need to strengthen and to prepare your muscles for any kind of physical activities. This is extremely important for those who are planning just to start with any kind of physical engagement. Those activities are like piriform strain, toes on a wall cliff, standing quad, and you can train your body even if you never be flexible in your life. Doing exercise by exercise, believe me, your body will change and you will be able to do things that you haven't been able to reach or strength before. And then before starting and engaging in this kind of concept, you need to ask yourself, do you prefer outdoor or indoor physical activities? Once you will decide how you're going to approach, or maybe you are going to combine these kind of activities, you will start and think about doing it. And also, meanwhile, while you're listening to us, maybe you can share some ideas in the chat and suggest something to us how we can start and be engaged in these kind of activities. And then the most important part, as I mentioned, how do you keep yourself motivated during your journey? I believe that everybody is facing difficulties, setbacks. They are trying physical activity for a week, 2, or maybe for several days, and they're quitting. It's really important to stay motivated during your journey. And maybe if you have something to share with us, please do that in the chat. Now we're going to continue with the second part, and my colleague Milkica will going to continue with personal strategy. Milkica, the floor is yours, and then I will come back with you with some more examples.
Thank you, Sanya. I have just shared my screen with you. So we are continuing our presentation. The ways to promote active lifestyle, particularly for younger women. So if you are a younger woman and you want to improve your physical activity, it is very important to have a personal strategy. So it is a strategy that is incorporated into your daily routine, and it does not take too much of your time. It does not take a special organization and stuff like that. It should be simple. So here are some suggestions how to incorporate your activity into your daily routine. First, you can start small and then build habits. You can start by walking. So you can incorporate walking or cycling into your daily commutes and errands. You can use walking on cycling to go to the nearest shop, to the groceries, to work, etc. So as I said, start small and then build habits. For example, you can start walking for shorter distances. As I said, to the grocery, to the post office, to the coffee shop, and start by walking, for example, 2 to 3 kilometers per day. And if you usually drive to the supermarket, then and if it is within a walking distance from you, then leave the car behind and then walk instead. And then gradually you can increase the distance as you become more comfortable. Then you can combine walking and cycling. For example, if you need to commute for a longer distance and it takes more time, for example, you can walk part and then combine it with the public transportation, or walk to the nearest bus stop or a train station instead of driving, and then get on the train or the bus, and it will take you wherever you're headed. Also, it is important to make it your daily routine. Try to make walking or cycling part of your daily routine. For example, walking to get your morning coffee, or cycling to pick up groceries and stuff like that. Your plan should be efficient, and you should plan efficient and safe routes. There are many apps, walking and cycling apps, that you can use, like Google Maps, Strava, that offer walking or cycling routes to avoid busy streets, so that is safe and efficient for you, and pedestrian-friendly areas. You can also find routes with bike lanes or less traffic if you have decided to do cycling. Also, look for multi-stop routes. If you need to run multiple errands, plan your route so that you can stop at several places on one trip. For example, walk or cycle to the nearest post office stop, then afterwards stop at the grocery on the way back and finish your errands efficiently. So combine more two errands, and it will also save you time and increase your steps or cycling distance. Use a bike for errands. For example, to carry groceries or other items, invest in a bike with a basket or a rack. You can use this to carry your shopping bags, and it will make your trip more convenient and less physically demanding. You can also get electric bikes if you live in an area with hills, like we live here in Štip, which is pretty hilly, or if you have longer distances to cover, then consider using an electric bike. Electric bikes assist with pedaling, making longer trips more manageable without getting too tired or sweaty, particularly if it is hot outside. Then join a bike sharing program if there is a possibility for bike sharing program. At work, leverage workplace support. For example, ask for bike-friendly amenities like a room for bike storage, or changing rooms or showers, if, of course, the employer can offer that. Or even better, if your workplace offers flexible working hours, or if you work from home, then use that at your advantage. Incorporate walking into breaks and errands. Use breaks to walk, for example, lunch breaks. Or coffee breaks at work. Take a walk around your neighborhood or office area. even 15 or 20 minutes walk can boost your mood, your energy levels, and overall well-being, and you will be more efficient in work. Or instead of run your errands on foot. If you have small tasks to complete, like going to the pharmacy, post office, or dry cleaners, consider walking instead of driving. You can plan these errands during your lunch break or before or after work in some physical activity. Prioritize safety and comfort. For walking, you should wear comfortable shoes. For cycling, you should wear a helmet, of course. You should consider safety first. Also, you can dress. It is advisable to dress in layers so that you can adjust depending on the weather. If it's too hot, you can take off some layer or put on if it's getting chillier. Also, it is important to be comfortable, so you should have a comfortable saddle or handlebar grips and stuff like that. And also make sure that your bike is well maintained so that it doesn't let you down. Or when walking or cycling in urban areas, stick to the sidewalks, bike lanes, and pedestrian crossings. Always be mindful of traffic and use hand signals while cycling. It is better to socialize your routine. So it's family member, colleague, friend, whatever, just it will you will motivate each other. You will motivate your friend and he will or she will motivate you. And it will be more fun for sure. You can talk and catch on. You can listen to music or listen to podcasts. It is an opportunity to take a break from the daily hustle, improve your mental clarity, and enjoy the journey rather than just focusing on the destination. Make it fun and rewarding. Track your progress. Use apps or fitness trackers to log your steps or cycling distance. Tracking your progress can motivate you to maintain consistency and reach new milestones. Also, turn it into me time. It can be a time to reflect on yourself, to listen to good music, the one you like, the one that makes you happy, or catch up on podcasts. By gradually building these practices into your routine and focusing on comfort and safety, you can seamlessly incorporate walking or cycling into your daily commute or errands. So let's remember, the key is to start small and then build on. You cannot start with longer distances. It will be demotivational for you. Start with shorter distances and then build up. At work, it is very important to do exercise breaks, or also known as active breaks. It's about 3 to 10 minutes physical activities while you are indulged into your intellectual activities and you've been sitting for longer time, then it is very, very good to do an exercise break or active break. Just a little physical movement and your mind will be clearer and you will be more productive. It's pretty easy to do and it doesn't take much of your time. So after 40 to 45 minutes in one place sitting, you should change your position. For example, get up, open the window or the door, let the fresh air in, find some clear place near your desk or near your computer or next to your chair, and then identify some form of active break that you would like to do, and do it for 3 to 5 minutes. Or it can take longer, it depends on how much time you have, and then your brain will refresh. The types of active breaks, for example, stretching and strengthening exercises. It can be a combination of stretching exercises for different body parts, for example, your neck, your shoulder, your arms, your legs. Then strengthening for your back, squats, push-ups. Active breaks can also incorporate fundamental movement like jumping, hopping, walking around. Then there are also video supported active breaks. You can play the video and then do them. And you can play some music in the background. And mindfulness exercises like yoga. It's also, you can choose whatever you're into. As I said, you can benefit from brain breaks a lot. It enhances your focus, then promote physical activity, which is of course our goal. It improves your cognitive functioning and improves your mood. You will start feeling because it releases endorphins, you will start feeling happier, and of course it can help reduce your stress. Because if you choose mindfulness exercises, it is pretty calming and can reduce your stress. How to use them? At work, for example, or at home. So whenever you're feeling a decrease in concentration, like your oxygen level is lower, you start to lose concentration, you need to chat with your colleagues, start to look into your phone, or start to feel neck pain or back soreness, it's time to have an active break. It should be simple movement with 2 to 3 different exercises. Going to a window or balcony, walking to the toilet, or taking a coffee and water can also be considered as active break. So, as I said before, try to practice this every 45 to 50 minutes cognitive work or screen time. At home, also after sitting for longer than 45, 50 minutes, you can stand up, do 10 squats, or some other exercises. And also, you can challenge yourself or your family members. For example, do 20 seconds wall sitting challenge, or twice per 20 seconds planks every day. Also, you can use your chair, your backpack, your book, blouse as equipment that can help you to do some stretching, push-ups, and back exercises. Home workout. At home, you can do, of course, workouts, which is an effective way to stay fit. If you don't want to go to the gym or you don't have special equipment, then you can use your body for a full body strength routine. You can do push-ups, body weight squats, plank, lunges, etc. So I believe you're all familiar with these exercises. So push up, like you start in a plank position, your hands directly under your shoulders, then you lower your body until your chest nearly touches the floor, then push back up. And you can try variations like wide arm push-ups, diamond push-ups for your triceps, or decline push-ups, feet elevated. Then body weight squats, stand with feet shoulder wide apart, toes slightly turned out. Then lower your body by pushing your hips back and bending your knees, keeping your chest up. And the plank we know, the lunges we know, and the glute bridges, like you lie on your back, your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, then lift your hips off the ground by squeezing your glutes, and then you lower and repeat. Also, if you have dumbbells at home, weights, you can do dumbbell squats, dumbbell rows, dumbbell chest press, overhead press, dumbbell deadlifts, and dumbbell lunges. These are all also can be done at home. For more intensive training, you can try high intensity interval training, which is a short, intense bursts of exercise. Periods typically range from 20 seconds to a few minutes and are performed at near maximal effort. And then you rest for a short interval and then you start again. You repeat this in cycles, several cycles of high intensity and low intensity periods. The total duration can be from 10 to 30 minutes. You can try jumping jacks, mountain climbers, high knees, squat ramps, and then rest. Core focus routine targets the core muscle of your body, and then therefore you build your strength and your stability. You can do the bicycle crunches, the leg raisers, Russian twists, side plank, and mountain climbers. Also, you can do the flexibility routines. Flexibility routines focus on stretching and relaxing the muscles, and which is pretty useful for recovery or for improving your mobility. A child pose, where you sit back on your heels, stretch your arms forward and rest your forehead on the ground. Breathe deeply and relax your back and shoulders. If you want to do a progression of this exercise, you can hold longer or deepen the stretch by walking your hands further. The further, the more progressive, of course. Then the downward dog. I hope you can see the photo here. The cobra pose, cat-cow stretches, hip flexor stretch, and seated forward bend. The bodyweight cardio circuit. This routine boosts your heart rate with bodyweight exercises that build endurance and burn calories. And as we have previously mentioned, the jumping jacks with the high intensity activity, the burpees, the progression of the burpees would be to increase the speed and add push-ups or tuck your knees to your chest on the jump. Skaters, mountain climbers, and high knees. So you can run in place and driving your knees forward as high as possible. Also, I would like to know more about you. So please feel free to answer in chat to these questions that I have prepared for you. Do you take active breaks at work? Do you work out at home? How do you prefer to work out alone or with a friend? Do you use apps or fitness trackers to log your steps or cycling distance? And do you make it fun? And how do you make it fun? Thank you. This is the end of my presentation. My colleague Sanya will continue the last part of the presentation. Thank you again.
Okay, hello from my side again. Since so far you hear a lot about how to stay physically active, what you should do at home, at work, or even in your gym. Now is the time to hear how you can actually set your goals and how you can track the progress, which is one of the most important thing in your physical activity journey. As it says, some physical activity is better than none, and this is really true, which means even if you're having at least 10 minutes at time for physical activities without breakups, it's some kind of physical activity and it's a good start for you. Even though the 150 minutes per week seems a lot of minutes for you to be physical active, but once you will start, believe it that you won't make any difference if you've been active 150 minutes or 200 minutes, because it will become a part of your daily routine and your body is actually going to push you to be more and more active and to become one of those versions of yourself that you always wanted to be. One of the most important things, as I said before, is to set your goals. What is your plan? What do you want to achieve? And how you can track this in order to stay motivated and positive. Uh, as every specific goals that you want to achieve in your life, it doesn't matter if it's at work, it doesn't matter if it's some presentation, you need to make your goals specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. This is the metrics that I believe that you already use in some type of work at school or at work, and this is very applicable also to your fitness goals. The first thing for you is to decide if you have short-term goals or if you have long-term goals. Short-term goals are those who can be achieved for a few weeks or months. For example, if you want to run, you can go to 5K run, or if you want to start fitness at the gym, you should go twice or three times per week. And the long-term goals, if is those goals who needs to take a longer period of time, at least 6 months or above 6 months. And these goals can be achieved after you're achieving short-term goals. So my advice for you is to start with short-term goals if you haven't been physically active yet. But if you so far had any kind of physical activity, then you should put your long-term goals in order to achieve your plans. This is the metrics that is applicable for the fitness, and what you need to do is to know for you is the current fitness level. Actually, to consider your strength, and then knowing your body strength, you can set your goals. Never push up yourself too much because it always ending up with bad results, with you quitting and not continue with your plan. Then the time commitment, it's also really important, which means you need to find time in your day schedules in order to do that. If you have a lot of work or meetings, make sure that you find time for it and plan it in advance. That's how you can stay in track, and that's how you will have always a spot for yourself and for your daily physical activity. Then resources available for you. You will heard the exercise that you can do at home, but if you don't have the equipment, for example, you can have a bottle of water or everything which is around your home, and you can make it work. Even though the equipment is not very expensive at home, but there's always a possibility how to replace that equipment with the things that we can find in your home. And then your health status and your medical condition, it's very important, which means don't push up yourself too much. And you will see that the progress, even if you never thought that you will be able to run for 30 minutes, it will be like something that is been done for you for years. Then when you are achieving the goals, I said you need to put a straight goal. I try to find some realistic examples and to write what I have done in my fitness journey. For example, I always knew which days during the month I'm going outdoors and walking, and how many times per week I will go to the gym. This is a strength goal, which means every Tuesday and Thursday you're going to the gym, and then every Friday or during the weekend you're going on a walk with your friends. But this is the thing that was part of the goal and part of the plan, and it can be part of your plan as well. And then you need to know what kind of type of workout you want to do, and never do any repetition because it will get bored and you won't want to continue with it. Just explore the possibilities on the internet, or even using the examples and the activities and the exercises that we share with you today, and believe it, you won't get any boredness out of your working plan. And to achieve that, please write your goals. That's how you're going to remember what you want to do and what you're planning to do. Then, to be specific, you need to know what is your fitness level and how you're going to achieve that. And for the measurements, of course, measure for yourself. And if you see some progress in your body, it means that you're progressing in your plan. It's giving you more motivation to continue on this journey. And then with your lifestyle, it should be something that makes you pleasure in your daily routine. But sometimes try to do something new. If you haven't used bike in years, then now maybe it's a time to start being more active, to buy a bike or to borrow a bike for your friends and do some physical activities outdoors, and to set the deadline, which means that you need to have the end date to see the progress. And then starting from the short term plan, you're continued with the progress with the long term plan. And then how you can achieve that also, there are some examples like online exercises on YouTube. There are a lot of channels, a lot of influencers who are doing activities for free, which means you can follow or join some of their broadcasters there, and try to do that at home. Dance, you don't need any equipment, you need your favorite music and dance at your home. What is really important to set the time and how you're going to do that. Then stretch, that I already explained how to become more flexible, and then using ropes, stairs, and everything that can be part of this physical routine journey. And as I mentioned before, instead of using vehicles, instead of be lazy or laying, just be make some movements for 50 minutes in a day, and that's how you can start on your routine. How to stay motivated is something else that is really important, and the most important thing is for you to know why you started to do this. And then you need to you already know your support system and how to keep yourself motivated, which means do the things that you like to do. And if you can create with those routines weekly workout or schedules, it will be the best starts for you in order to know that this is something that you should do that day or that week. Then you need to celebrate your success, which means don't push up yourself. You're allowed to eat even sometimes sugar. You're allowed to be sometimes lazy. And by sharing your story, by talking to your friends about your success, I think it can be very motivational for you and to continue doing on this. And then for every physical activity, we need to track everything. And lucky for us, in today's digital world, all of us are having smartphones, smartwatches, and it's the easiest way how you can tracking your tools. I personally use the Samsung health application, which track my daily physical activity, how many steps I made, how much time I was active, I was sleeping or watching a TV. It's really great app, and I believe that you can find plenty of apps who are free to use. And with this app, you can see, for example, if in the beginning for 30 minutes you walk 2 or 3 kilometers, and then in a few weeks for 30 minutes you can walk 5 or 6 kilometers. They can give you a clear overview of your progress, and you will see how you actually continue progressing towards demands and towards your final goal. Each tool that you can find on internet. Later, I will show you some applications that are for free that I Google it, and by the reviews, they're really excellent for the beginners and for those who are very physically active. They can be really easy to use and can assist you reaching specific health goal. And also they're giving you clear instruction how to do that activity, what to do, how to take a break, when to drink a water. They're really great for everybody, and it can be used at home, outdoors, or even in the gym. Then pro tips. What was beneficial for me, and I believe for everybody who is trying to stay active, is to take weekly and monthly progress photos of your body, which means you can see the difference. You're seeing a lot of examples like this in the internet, but do it for yourself, just to realize how much you progress and how much your body changed all this time. Then since we're always all the time wearing the same clothes, but you can see even in your clothes the progress, and that's how you can get motivated by comparing the clothes that you wear before and that you're wearing after the physical activity. And there are some tips, especially in the beginning, because in the beginning you won't see big progress, like you will lose a lot of weight, but just make sure that you're taking the right picture, the right angle, just to see the difference and to continuing doing this. And then smartwatches, as I mentioned, can monitoring your heart rate for you to know that you're doing everything all right and that you are safe during your physical daily routine. Some of the apps that I find on are free to use. And of course, if you want some more features, you need to pay, but at least for the beginners and for the beginning levels, you can download these apps for free. You can log in those apps, and those apps can track everything for you. Like a Fiton app, which is a digital wellness platform that can offers, as I said, premium content, but also you don't need the equipment, which means if in the beginning you know that you don't have the equipment, and if you don't want to use equipment, this is the right app for you, because you can do the exercise using your own weight and the body. Then if you are outdoor enthusiastic, you can download Ultras Plus. Here are the links. Of course, once you will receive the presentation, you can find this application immediately. That can map offline maps. For example, if you want to explore the nature near you, you can pin the location, and then you can find afterwards, and can make the most of enjoyable experience for you. And for those country who actually has these trails, you can find and explore unexplored places that you haven't visited before. Then work up for guided workouts, which means if you want to be guided and if you want to have like one exercise for one day, another part of your body for the other day, the future work application is the right application for you, which can guide you home or in the gym. There are also like a different CrossFit exercises. Even here in Stip, you can find different plans. You can go to different activities. But if you don't want to go on exact day, on exact time, this is the app for you, which means it will guide you like the group trainings that we're usually having when it comes to CrossFit. Then Strava is the application. They can track your running with a GPS, and you can follow friends. You can share photos there, which makes the whole experience more fun and engaging with other runners out there. Also, I put here, I even tried this application, the night training application, which is really great. It also can be used for free, but of course, if you want to have some more features, you can buy it. But it's like live classes, videos, and you're working with them. They're free, they're really great, which means you can stop the video, you can continue, you can see the repetition. If you don't know how to do that exercise exactly, you can repeat the video and very clearly show you how to move with your body, how to use the equipment, and how to do the right exercise. Then from the gym course, the GIFT application that once you're logged out, you will see a lot of workout routines and if you subscribe, I believe you will have more access for it. And then the application for women, which basically gives you those workouts that are perfectly for women. It's a woman workout fit at home, and you will see how to incorporate all those daily routines and how to work out around the home by using this application. It's free to use. You need to download it on your phone. I believe that everything that we have said today, it will be very beneficial for you all. You have just to take care of your health or to be active. How to be active is just a part, and it can become a part of your daily routine with the help of new technology, the digital world. This can be even possible for those who doesn't have time to go to the gym, who doesn't have time to join some group trainings, but doing some exercise for 10 minutes at home, at work, it's something that we should start integrating if we haven't started yet. What you should think is what is your average physical daily activity. For example, if you're active only 5 minutes, how you can increase this up to 10 minutes. Have in mind your current daily activity. And then what keeps you motivated to stay active? A good music, a good friend, a good discussion or talk, or even exercising at home while watching a movie can be sometimes motivation and a reason why to stay active. And that what type of physical activities do you enjoy? Just do the activity that you really enjoy, and I don't think that you will find any trouble or setbacks during the time spending exercising. And what is your favorable tracking app? Which means just explore or use the links that are already present to you, and you will find plenty of applications, and you will find the best app that can suit you, and they can track your physical activity, smartwatches connected with the phones and everything, which can give you overview of the daily physical activities monthly or even of a period of 6 or 12 months. Thank you for listening to us. I have nothing to add about this part, and now I think that Dimitri will continue.
Okay,
But
thank you. Thank
anyway,
you so
if you have questions, please write here on the chat.
Okay, thank you so much from all of our presenters today. It was amazing. Now, we have come to the end of the MOOC2 event for the Fit-Balkans project. Having this in mind, I'm now sharing with you in the group chat the Google form for the certificates. Besides this Google form, I'm going to share it here, but I'm also going to share it through the email. There's going to be another Google form to give us some sort of a feedback about the activities done here. Did you enjoy the MOOC? Did the presenters do a good job? This will help us a lot in the sense of actually recognizing the impact of this event. On the behalf of the team, I want to thank you for joining us today. I can ask if any fellow presenters would like to add a final word. If not, I think this is going to be the end of the MOOC. So thank you again for joining. Thank you on the behalf of the Fit-Balkans Consortium, and hope to get your feedback and information very soon. Thank you so much.